everybody. Welcome to another edition of NCW, also known as New Comics Wednesday. If you haven't been with us before, we chat for a few minutes every Wednesday about Zenescope's newest releases. Can you believe that I have this script in front of me and I have it for every NCW? And I don't even have to look at it anymore. So I'm kind of excited that I've just learned it off the top of my head. If you're looking for where you can get our comics, my apologies. Oh, hi, Rob. You can go to Zenescope.com, press new releases, and it will always show you our newest releases. You can also get them on Comixology as well as at your local comic shop. And every Wednesday I get really excited because I get this wonderful group of people joining me. All of your lovely comments are always read and read later on. I read a lot of stuff that you guys post on our YouTube just to see, feedback and all the screw ups that I had on the stream. So my apologies. If you want to hear about our latest releases, but you haven't been with us before, or you've missed a couple of times, you can always go back to our YouTube channel and press subscribe, and then you'll always get notifications every Wednesday at 3 p.m. Eastern, or you can just watch past videos. And last week was a lot of fun. We talked about Possessive. The week before, we talked about Game Night. It was always a good time, and it always is a good time. So today we'll actually be chatting about Van Helsing, Invisible Woman. And I do have a special featured guest today. It is Pat Shand, who I'm sure you all know very, very well. Before I pull him on, I'm just going to talk a little bit about the covers, the price, and everything like that. So here is the release information. Van Helsing, Invisible Woman. It's $5.99. Here are all of the artists for the covers. And then I'll run through all the covers really quickly. And please tell me, drop in the comments, who did your favorite cover, what your favorite cover is, and who you'd like to see do more covers for us. So here is cover A. Take a look at it. It's a good cover. It definitely gives away what's happening. I like how all the covers, I guess, kind of incorporate rain. I understand why they have to do that, so you can show the Invisible Woman. If not, like, what will our artist really be doing? Just a background. So there's cover A. This is cover B. This is a great cover. I love this cover. I think it's because the silhouette of the Invisible Woman gives away exactly, what she looks like. And you can kind of imagine of what she looks like without actually knowing, because she's invisible. And then cover C, cover B was my favorite, but cover C has really grown on me. I looked at this cover over the last couple of weeks, especially when we did our previews panel. And I just love, at first, this is going to sound crazy, but the first time I saw this cover, I thought it was unfinished when I saw it in the drive. And then I realized it wasn't. It was a play on it, the Invisible Woman, which is why part of her is missing. Kind of seems obvious now, but to be fair, I didn't know what the cover name was. I just saw this image in the drive. Cover C is really, really great. All the covers are good, but I think cover C is my favorite of this week. But again, drop in the comments which cover is your favorite. So without further ado, I'm going to bring on the writer of Van Helsing, the Invisible Woman, Pat Shand.
Hey, how's it going? Hello.
Lovely. How are you?
I'm good. Happy that today is, my return to Van Helsing for this issue.
I know, that's awesome. I'm excited to actually get to ask you a couple of questions, because sometimes we have writers on who maybe this is the first time they're working on a story, but you have a lot of history with Van Helsing.
Yeah.
How much history?
Well, she came about in 2013, actually. Raven, Gregory, and I were working on a pitch together for an event book called Unleashed, and we needed 4 monster hunters. And, we had one that was going to hunt werewolves, vampires, zombies, and demons. And it came about as just working on each character and who they were going to be. And first, the vampire series was going to focus on the actual vampires and have the hunter be a supporting character, until we decided that the better idea, I believe it was Ralph or Joe who had the idea to make it where, they wanted to tie it more to the classic stories. Zenescope has done a great job of taking these classic stories, fairy tales, monster hunter characters, and bringing them into modern day life. And we were given the idea of doing a female Van Helsing, and we thought it would be cool to do it where, she has this legacy, where she carries on her father's legacy. It nods to the original story while bringing something entirely new into the picture. So we were given that idea, and I did her arc in Unleashed. She had her own little miniseries, Vampires: The Eternal, which was, she was involved, but it did focus on the vampire character more. And then I think in 2014 we did the first Van Helsing proper series, which was Van Helsing: The Darkness and the Light, which was sort of like a pre-Van Helsing versus Dracula.
That's very, very cool. We have our podcast, Everything's In, that drops one time a month, usually on Mondays. And I actually did the feature character, Liesl Van Helsing, for one of the months. I can't remember when. And I actually got a lot of intel. I might have actually just done it last month, but Ralph gave me a lot of intel of how the character came to be, how it was pitched to them, and then how crazy it is that, especially, when you watch a show or a movie or anything like that, you tend to pick a favorite character that's not the focus. And then because people love that character so much, it evolves, that character becomes the focus.
Yeah, it's crazy. Looking back, my time at Zenescope, I did have about 3 to 4 long runs with characters. I'm probably most known for my run on Robin Hood. I had a long run on Grimm Fairy Tales. And then it's Van Helsing. I did 4 miniseries with her.
Wow.
And she was a character that, she once, just the more I wrote her, the more enamored with her voice, her legacy I was, because it's crazy to think in Unleashed, she had a prominent role, but it was a pretty small role. And it wasn't until that one Van Helsing miniseries, Van Helsing: The Darkness and the Light, which at the time it was just called Helsing #1, that I really found out how much I loved writing her, and how much there was to say about, about the idea of carrying on someone's legacy, someone's story. She has that shadow hanging over her of her father, this legend. And she was an intensely awesome character to write. And it's been 4 years since I actually worked on her. My last Helsing story was Van Helsing versus the Mummy of Amun-Ra, which, it's weird. It feels like it was yesterday, but it was a long time ago.
Everything with the pandemic feels like it's 10 times longer. So that's added to that age gap of just like 2 weeks turning into, I don't know, like 5 years. But you actually have Raven right now in the comments. How funny is that?
I see him in the comments. What's up? West Side?
I'm going to read the synopsis really quickly, and then I'll ask you a couple questions. But months ago, our world opened. That is so funny.
This dude's calling me a messenger. He knows where I am right now.
Raven, what are you doing out there? Months ago, our world opened up to gateways and passages from all types of alternate dimensions. But Liesl Van Helsing, along with her friends, closed those doors. They may have stopped the initial threat, but that doesn't mean some beings from those worlds didn't cross over into our universe. And some of those who are now stuck here might not be the biggest fans of the famed vampire hunter. In a story you need to see to believe. Oh my God, I love that. Don't miss a second of this epic 32-page encounter as Liesl deals with a threat that she won't even see coming.
That was good.
It was good. Was that Dave?
I believe it was Dave. And as you read it, I was like, what's going to happen next?
Yeah, Dave writes a lot of really, really great synopsis. I say that every time. I'm like, does Dave write all of them? I think so. Maybe it was Dave and David. But so you mentioned you worked on Van Helsing for a very, very long time. And obviously her character has been around for almost a decade with us. But where are we dropping into her story in this storyline?
All right. Well, she's had she's had a bunch of miniseries and one-shots in the past few years. And this one picks up threads from Van Helsing #50, which Joe Brusher wrote. And It includes, and I'm trying not to say too much here. There's a twist in the issue, but it alludes to much of what you were saying in your synopsis there about how finding this alternate reality has really blown open the doors of what a Van Helsing book, what a Van Helsing villain could be. We have, that story showed us a version of Van Helsing that was a vampire. And now we have that alternate world to play with that we can really pull from to broaden the Helsing mythology. So it does tie into that issue. And it also does stand alone. You can read this and just go in having missed the issue and just understand what's going on completely. And it's all about bringing this new villain into Helsing's life and making this villain seem like someone that you could understand where she's coming from.
So much like you just mentioned, the storyline is actually told through the Invisible Woman. What was crucial to your writing strategy to make a memorable character with very, very distinct dialogue, immediately making it not seem like Liesl was telling this story?
We actually, that's a great point, because the trick is that if you have captions and the book is called Van Helsing, you see the captions and you assume that you're, reading Van Helsing's thoughts. And then that it makes it more difficult when the character is invisible, because then you just see Van Helsing and a caption and you assume it's Van Helsing. So what I did was I started off, the issue actually has captions from Van Helsing. So you see her thoughts, and then we transition into someone watching her from a distance. And you have a different style of captions, which was done very well by the letterer, Taylor Esposito. So we actually see the visual change in the color of captions that kind of keys the reader into this is no longer Van Helsing. And then we gave visual cues, like for instance, she touches something, so you see what was once in panel, for instance, panel 3, you just see air. In panel 4, the blood puddle, a bloody hand, the shape of a bloody hand emerges. So you begin to see that, I'm seeing the monologue from a character who's invisible.
Yeah. I think done very, very well. It's very tricky with invisible characters, right? Because you can't really see what's going on. And that was the difficult transition or tough storyline that had to be told when Universal initially introduced the Invisible Man, because people couldn't see him, and then they put on the bandages, so you could figure out where he was, but you don't really know what a character's doing or how a character is reacting. So I was really glad that you told it from her storyline, because then I knew, okay, this is what she's feeling, even though I can't see her.
Yeah, and it's a challenge in every panel too, because in comics you have a static image, so you can't to do what you could see in a film in a 1 second film beat. You can see a character pass through fog. In comics, you would need panel 1, fog, panel 2, the shape of a character passing through the fog, panel 3, fog again, so it's a challenge to, in a visually static medium, show the character invisible, but also in a way that the audience can follow. So it was a big challenge, but it was super fun too.
That's awesome. How would you rate the Invisible Woman in people that Liesl's had to battle on her biggest bad list?
It's kind of hard to say, because if you want to get real dorky, right, you can look at it like on the Dragon Ball Z power level scales, right? Her power level would be far lower than, say, Dracula's daughter. The Mummy of Amun-Ra will probably be the physically strongest one that I know of. But she's a big challenge, because those villains, if they want to hurt you, you see them coming at you. The Invisible Woman is a greater challenge to fight back against and to prepare to defend yourself from, because she's coming at you from an area where you can't see her, So even if she were, in a physical hand-to-hand situation, she would have a problem with Van Helsing. Say Van Helsing douses her in paint, she's going to get her ass beat. But if she has a yard of distance from Van Helsing, she's going to, clap.
The people in the comments want to know if the Invisible Woman is naked.
Bro, Well, people in the comments, I'm 99% sure that's Raven Gregory. Raven
He's definitely
Gregory,
a contributor to it.
oh my god, dude. Raven Gregory writes, every cover the Invisible Woman on is a nude exclusive cover. Wow. I didn't picture her as naked, but I am not surprised that your boy Raven Gregory would, though,
I just dropped the link to buy at our web store in the comics. I will say that maybe you get to see her for a second. Maybe not. I don't know. If you buy the issue, then you'll find out if she is fully clothed or not. I don't know.
yeah. It's true. It's a good point.
So you mentioned this on our previews panel just like a week or two ago, but you're working on a lot of stuff currently for Zenescope. Do you want to tease some of that?
Yeah, I am doing more Helsing. I'm doing more Van Helsing. There is a 2-part book coming up that's going to be 2 oversized one-shots. So if you put them together, basically a little miniseries, it's going to bring back the League of Monsters in a new way that's going to incorporate, obviously a character that I'm getting to know in this issue. What else? I'm doing a Tales of Terror one-shot that is going to be, and back when I was not writing for Zenescope, I saw that you guys were doing these oversized one-shots that are basically graphic novels.
Mm-hmm.
And that was part of what made me want to reach out again too, because they just seem so fun. It seemed like a way to really just tell a mini-series worth of content in just one bang, And so that was what drew me back in some ways. It just seems so fun. So I'm doing a Tales of Terror, one of those. And the 4th thing is I still see this character as somewhat tied to Van Helsing. It's Hellchild, and her first miniseries was a pitch just to bring back Hades' daughter, because it was so cool to me to have a character that was half vampire and half demigod. It seemed like something that was tied to Van Helsing because we revealed her history through Van Helsing, but also wholly new because it wasn't. We have these characters, their power in, like, for instance, Grimm Fairy Tales. Scylla's power draws from the realms. She is a superhero in that way. I wanted to see what we could do with a character that had powers that were more horror driven. And so we did back in the day 2 miniseries, one just called Hellchild and one called Hellchild the Unholy, which they were just kind of like all out monster stories. That had this hero that was a bit darker, for instance, than Van Helsing, than Robin Hood, who had a bit more monster in her. So now I'm going to do a Grimm Spotlight issue of Hellchild that continues Ralph's story. I believe Hellchild Blood Money.
Cool. So a lot of stuff to look forward to in Q4 and maybe Q1 of 2022, and I'm sure more to come. Last random question, because you did mention that you were nerdy, and one of the questions in here was about who was everyone's favorite Universal monster. So who is your favorite Universal monster?
Universal monster, I gotta be real, I've never seen a single one of the old classic films, but
Pat.
I know. But I've always been a fan of vampires, so I guess Dracula. I've always been a big vampire fan. From True Blood to Buffy, I just love the idea of something that lasts forever. It could be that I'm scared to die, but the idea of these vampires that you can find a character and just explore their history through the course of centuries was always very interesting to me.
My favorite is Creature from the Black Lagoon. He, until very recently, was a fairly unknown character that Universal didn't really give much love to. Like, Dracula has so many movies, and so does Frankenstein, and so does The Mummy. I love The Mummy, though, too. But Creature from the Black Lagoon had, like, his 3 movies, and then nobody talked about him again. And it was just an obsession with my family and I with Creature from the Black Lagoon. And so when I was working for a different company in the convention scene, we used to bring Rico Browning out, who was Creature from the Black Lagoon, or one of 2 people who portrayed him during the first film. And it was an honor to meet him. He signed a bunch of stuff for me and it was awesome. And he's the only surviving actor that has ever portrayed a Universal monster at this point, and in the original series, because I guess you could say that for like when Universal continues to try its Dark Universe reboot, which apparently they're going to do again and have tried 4 times now. But, you know, and he also could hold his breath for 4 minutes underwater. And that's how he did all of his swimming scenes, which is pretty insane.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
It's super crazy. Super crazy. Well, you need to watch all the classic monster movies. I don't know what you're doing, Pat.
I don't know either. But I mean, that kind of character, you know, an underwater fish man is starting to get some new love with that new movie. Well, I mean, now it's not new, but that Del Toro movie.
Oh, The Shape of Water.
Yeah, so like now he's not even a monster anymore. He's just thawing out in the tank, you know?
Yeah, it's very, very true. Well, Pat, it was great having you on. I hope we get to have you back really soon. And I guess we will, because you're writing a bunch of stuff again.
Let's go. Let's do it.
Awesome. I will see you soon. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks.
Again, today, everybody, we are talking about Van Helsing, the Invisible Movie. Oh my geez. Van Helsing, the Invisible Woman, which is $5.99. We also will be talking about 2 other graphic novels in a short period. I do want to answer some of these questions that Chris is saying, though. I have seen Monster Squad. I actually met the cast 2 years ago. I brought them out to the con I was working, and I had never seen Monster Squad before. I was volunteering for a film festival called Popcorn Frights, which is in Miami. I was living in Miami at the time. They're actually doing a film festival next weekend. Those guys are really great. Love Igor and love Mark. And they brought out I think they brought out some of the cast, as well as the reunion special, which dove really into Monster Squad and how like HBO really saved and resurrected movies, which I thought was really interesting. And that's the first time I ever saw Monster Squad. And then I saw their, you know, documentary that they made called Wolfman's Got Nards, really good. And then I met the cast and they signed some stuff for me too. I think they might have signed a Stephen King's Rules shirt somewhere. I don't know where it is, but Monster Squad is a great representation of the classic monsters that is not a universal telling. I'm going to move on and talk about our other graphic novels that we have. So besides our release today, which I just chatted about with Pat, we will also be talking briefly about Van Helsing versus Dracula's Daughter. This is a graphic novel. It has the collecting issues from 1 through 5. Shout out to Raven if he's still here. It was written by him. And I'm going to show you guys the quick cover that we used for this. I'm going to make sure I want to pull up the right one. There you go. I love how Dracula's Daughter is just laughing in the background. Here's the synopsis. Introducing Helsing's deadliest villain yet. Liesl Van Helsing returns in a brand new series set to turn the inventive huntress world on fire. A mysterious being rises from Helsing's long-forgotten past, hell-bent on revenge. A being whose secrets could very well destroy Helsing and all she holds dear. Don't miss this exciting new series written by fan favorite Wonderland writer Raven Gregory and artist extraordinaire Alan Otero. So here is, again, Van Helsing versus Dracula's Daughter. If you want to catch up on this entire storyline, learn more about Van Helsing, Pat shouted out how Dracula's Daughter, is a very powerful villain that Liesl has to fight. This is how you're going to find out all about it. You get the entire original 1 through 5 set in this graphic novel, only $20 at your fingertips. So quick shout out to Raven, if he's still here, that this is great writing. Not going to say much about it because I'm sure most of you know the storyline. But our other graphic novel release is Van Helsing versus the League of Monsters, which, funny enough, Pat was just mentioning. Graphic novel series, and this is going to take issues 1 through 6. I'm going to put up the cover that was chosen for this. There we go. Van Helsing is still reeling from the revelations of recent events after her world came crashing down around her, but she won't have time to catch her breath as something catastrophic is heading her way. Will she be able to handle some of the deadliest creatures in all existence? Alone, any of these would be formidable foes, and Liesl will have the ultimate challenge laid before her with taking them on all at once. The odds are not in her favor, and it doesn't look good for the legendary vampire hunter. Don't miss this epic new series, Van Helsing versus the League of Monsters. So there you go. Again, you'll get issues 1 through 6. Shout out once more to Raven. Shout out to Pat. Shout out to everybody who worked on this fantastic series. And that's it. We ran through those really, really quickly. I do have a video I'm going to show you guys, or I want to show you guys, but I'm kind of scared that I will show it to you without audio. And you know I've played this game before. So, yes, Chuck mentioned, I believe these are both a part of the box set. I know Dracula's Daughter is for sure. The League of Monsters, I'm pretty sure too. So I think both of them are included in the Kickstarter. But if you are not looking to pledge to the Kickstarter and you're just looking to get one-off books, but that really wouldn't make sense because these books together would be $40 and the pledge, you know, to get so much more is only $125. It would just, you know, just splurge. Just splurge. Speaking of the Kickstarter, you only have 24 hours to pledge. So I guess I'll do that quick plug before I show the video. The Kickstarter ends tomorrow. The Kickstarter ends tomorrow. You don't want to miss out on it. I'm going to drop the Kickstarter link in the comments really quickly so you can take a look. And if you haven't got it, what are you doing? Like, look at this. Beautiful, beautiful box set. Here's some great reviews that they put on the back end so you could see, but pledge ASAP if you haven't. We have hit over $55,000. We're really looking to get 60 at the end of this, you know, or 75 or 100. I don't know how much you guys are giving, how much you're sharing, but make sure that you share it, you like, subscribe. Make sure you also share, like, subscribe these videos so people can learn more about Zenescope's newest releases. And so you guys can have more friends in the VIP world because I know how tight you guys are. So I really want to show you this video. It is about our newest initiative, which is Second Life. And it is apparently launching tomorrow. There'll be more on it shortly. I have the video. I really want to play it, but I know we played this game last time, and I'm worried that the audio might not be here. So bear with me. If you guys can't hear the audio, this is really on me because I played around with it, but I don't feel confident about it. So let me pull up my screen. Chrome tag. There we go. You're probably not going to be able to hear the audio. But if you can't hear the audio, then at least you can see Ralph.
I'm the co-founder of Zenescope Entertainment. Joe Brusha and myself founded the company back in 2005. When we saw comics evolving beyond superheroes, we saw an opening. One of the special things about Zenescope, we have a ton of kick-ass female characters. We reinvented the Robin Hood mythology with a female Robyn, Cinderella, Gretel, Belle. We have Liesl Van Helsing in our universe, who is the daughter of the infamous Abraham.
So I'm playing with the back set. I know. Well, I can't win here. Okay, hold on. I'm going to try this again. Hold on. Okay, there we go. Now I'm going to press play. Sorry, everybody. There had to be a screw up.
I am Ralph Tedesco. I am the co-founder of Zenescope Entertainment. Joe Brusha and myself founded the company back in 2005. When we saw comics evolving beyond superheroes, we saw an opening. One of the special things about Zenescope, we have a ton of kick-ass female characters. We reinvented the Robin Hood mythology with a female Robyn, Cinderella, Gretel, Belle. We have Liesl Van Helsing in our universe, who is the daughter
who we just talked about,
infamous Abraham Van Helsing from the Dracula books. We actually adapted Van Helsing into a Sci-Fi Channel TV series, which ran for 5 seasons. Here in Second Life, you can play out your own stories in the Zenescope universe. You're one of the main characters. And to me, the feeling of that is just amazing. Being able to live inside of a game, you're writing your own story. I think some people need to realize there's really no limits to what you can do. You can hang out at Rockman's, which you may recall from Belle, Hearts and Minds. You can actually become Belle because, well, in Second Life, you can be anyone you want to be. There are lots of other references to Zenescope heroes and villains around the island. The Big Jabberwocky, for example. Careful, he might just eat you. There is a mini temple from Baron. We do have Goblin Goth, of course. It's totally playable, which is incredible. There is a secret quest you can take around the island with your friends. And of course, there will be prizes for that. There's a big, big maze you can explore as the Mad Hatter. Want to be Cinderella? Of course you can, because, well, it's Second Life. What is in this huge mansion, you ask? Well, this is for another time because it's just the beginning. We are adding tons of fun stuff over the next few months. Zenescope Island will be around for a long time to come. Stay tuned. There may even be a chance that the avatar that I'm wearing right now shows up in a merch store here on Zenescope Island real soon.
I like this music a lot. Yeah, so that is all the plug on Second Life. I will take this link and drop it also in the video so you guys can see it. And yes, I knew someone was going to notice. I'm really glad that Chuck did. There's a Cheshire plushie in this Zenescope universe, so you might not be able to have him yet in your hands, and I won't say any more about that, but you can have him virtually whenever you feel like it. So again, we just talked about Second Life launching very, very soon, launching tomorrow, more to come on it. This story is really going to be based around Cinderella and Cindy's character, which is awesome because she is a character that doesn't get as much love as I think she deserves, and you're going to get to play really in her world. There's going to be a lot of cool things. You can have Zenescope t-shirts, the plushie, there'll be different weapons. Like Ralph mentioned, he has his own skin. He voiced the character. So it's going to be awesome. If you guys don't have a Second Life, get a Second Life ASAP, and we'll be chatting about it more. Thank you for dropping the Kickstarter comment in the comments. Chris, oh my God, Chuck. Okay. Let me pull up what else we have to talk about. I have very exciting news for everybody who pledged on the Grimmopoly stretch goal that we had. We reached it. We reached Grimmopoly. Yay. There'll be info that goes out to everybody who bought a Grimmopoly pre-order. The campaign ended, but we did reach the very, very first stretch goal, which means that something great will be coming your way. And we're really excited about that. I can't wait till Grimmopoly is in our hands, which should be around October, sometime in the fall. So just wanted to let you guys know that. Let's see what else I would like to talk about. I was really hoping that Chris Sampson was going to join me today and we were going to talk about the Kickstarter, but I think I missed out on him. That's okay. So again, I mentioned the Kickstarter. Chuck dropped it in the comments, but today's the last day, 24 hours. You have 24 hours to pledge, less than 24 hours, because I think the 24-hour post went out an hour ago. So you have 23 hours to pledge. If you're not pledging, what are you doing? Next week, we'll be talking about the Watcher graphic novel, which, fun fact, if you didn't know, is one of our best-selling graphic novels of all time. The first storyline sold out. It's sold out on our web store. It's really popular. I've never read it. I'm really excited to read the entire graphic novel, so we'll be chatting about that next week. So if you haven't seen it, make sure that if you haven't read it, make sure that you get the graphic novel that'll be dropping next week. And then other upcoming releases, here you go. That's our whole rundown. We have an epic battle between Zodiac versus Death Force, another Belle story. We're going to get a Grimm Spotlight with Red Agent. We've got Robin Hood, The Swarm. And then Chuck pointed out in the comments, and I'm so glad he did. I kept saying Grimm Fairy Tale 51, and I think it's because I'm so used to that last week, but I kept meaning to say Grimm Fairy Tale Swimsuit Edition. So not next week, at the end of the month or early fall will be Grimm Fairy Tale 51, and the swimsuit was last week. So I quickly fixed that really quick. I know this is a really long NCW. I'm sorry. It's because I had an interview with Pat and then I wanted to highlight a bunch of stuff. So I like long NCWs too. I just don't want to take up too much of your guys' time. Okay. Again, today we talked about Van Helsing, the Invisible Woman. If you didn't get to hear about our fantastic interview with writer Pat Chand, you can go back and listen to this. But we had 3 covers. It is $5.99 in our web store. Here is cover A. Woo, 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 cover A. I'm going to put this banner up. Yeah, cover A. Yeah. Okay, cover B. Woo, cover B. Yeah, cover B. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And then cover C, which I saw was the favorite in the comments. It was also my favorite. I just love that the first time I saw it, I was like, this cover's not finished. And then And then silly me, the Invisible Woman. Duh, Amber, what are you doing? So that's cover C. Again, $5.99 in our web store. We also chatted about Van Helsing versus Dracula's Daughter, which is a graphic novel dropped today. It has the stories of 1 through 5 issues, and it is $5.99. And here is the cover for that. So you can take a look. Dracula's Daughter is just taunting Liesel, I feel like, in this cover. And finally, we chatted about Van Helsing versus the League of Monsters. And here is the cover we used for the graphic novel there. And I think that you're really going to need this graphic novel because, I don't know, maybe Pat dropped it, but the League of Monsters Part 2 is going to be dropping, I don't know. Like, I think, it's the Return of the League of Monsters, Part 1 and Part 2. That'll be dropping in Q4 and Q1 of 2022. So if you haven't read the first story of this, get this graphic novel, only $20. I love graphic novels. I know a lot of people love issues, but I love graphic novels because then I get the entire story in one storyline. I don't have to look around for things. I know exactly what's going on. Okay, cool. So let's see what I have to chat about. We are having a retailer live stream, and it's next Tuesday, and I hope that you guys can all be there for it. It is with Nankin Hobby or Nankin Hardware. They have a long name, but they will be our retailer stream partner. We're very, very excited. So make sure that you're with us next Tuesday at 4 p.m. Eastern. If you're a VIP, which I know most of you are, here is the info on the VIP event. Make sure that you have marked off your calendars. I know a couple of you guys can't attend. I'm super bummed about it, but there'll be some fun things going on. There will be another writer's room. There will be Zenescope squares. There may even be Z&D. There will be. And in order to get into this very, very exclusive event, you will need to use legacy points. And let's talk a little bit about legacy points, guys. Oh, I just popped up that cover again. Here, Adrian shared this last time on our stream, but this is for legacy point redemption. And Adrian's going to bring this up again during the VIP event, but make sure you're using your points. You could be, like Chris and I were featured in Grimm Fairy Tales swimsuit. You could be featured in a story. How cool is that? You could have a cameo. So make sure that you're using your legacy points. You will be able to use it for Z&D, and there'll be more info on that coming, as well as signups for events that you'll be able to attend. And there will be a post-show survey at the end, because everybody knows I love post-show surveys. And it will be a lot of questions about next year's VIP event, if we did it in person where you'd like it to be, if we did it on the West Coast, anything like that. So I really hope that you guys are there for, ZND. But I'm really excited to just hang out with our VIPs. And if you're not a VIP, what are you doing out there? You get to work with Adrian. She's the ultimate best, sweetest, most caring person. And, she messages us every day about what the VIPs have to say. And we take it very, very seriously. And the only way we can get VIP feedback is if you guys share it with us. So we can continue to serve you, our greatest and biggest fans, which is really awesome. Other things I'd like to shout out. So we did talk about Second Life. Again, should be launching tomorrow. More info to come. There'll be a press release out. But these are the characters that you'll be able to play in just the Zenescope skins. So you'll be able to see here, we have Mad Hatter, we have Belle, and we have 2 Cindys, a male and a female version. So if you don't have a Second Life account, sign up. And then maybe, I don't know, the avatar that Ralph rocked could be available to you as well. And the Cheshire plushie will be there. I don't have a picture per se right now, but Our next virtual convention is now in September because we're doing the VIP event, which will be in 2 weeks, but the virtual con after that will take place at the end of September. I believe it's the weekend of it's going to be the 16th and 17th, I think, off the top of my head. So mark your calendars there. We will be doing another movie club. Movie club will take place at the end of this month, and it is going to be The Lost Boys. If you didn't get to see Big Trouble in Little China, make sure that you go back and rewatch it. It was super, super awesome. I think that might be it. I kind of ran through anything. Chuck, I can't. You're so funny. You always. Roy, if you want to check how many points that you have in legacy points, you can message Adrian. She also, during the actual VIP event, is going to talk about how you check your legacy points. But off the top of your head, just message Adrian. She'll talk you through it. Adrian is the best. That's true. I'm getting lots of Adrian is awesome. She is awesome. She rocks. I love Adrian. She's really great. This is a really long NCW. It was 40 minutes. This might be my longest NCW ever. And I'm glad that you guys all got to join me for it. And we got to have Pat on. And the people in the comments were great. I love talking to you guys. So make sure that you join us every Wednesday at 3 p.m. Eastern. This is Amber signing off for another edition of NCW, where you come for the covers and you stay for the stories. Oh, I just thought of one more fact. We're going to be at MegaCon. We're going to be at MegaCon next Thursday. So if you're in the Orlando area or you know people, make sure that you share it. You tell them. It is a Friday the 13th. I love Friday the 13th. I'm actually going to be off. I'm going to be in Ocean City, Maryland, which I'm very excited about. But make sure that if you are headed to MegaCon, that you stop by our booth. It is going to be one of 2 conventions we planned so far for 2021. The second will be New York Comic Con, happening in 2 months. And then I don't know from there. Who knows? So make sure that if you guys are in the Orlando area, you're there. And make sure that if you're coming to New York, you're gonna say hi to me. Like, this is the first time we're ever going to get to meet. So again, this is Amber signing off for NCW, where you come for the covers, but you stay for the story.